Facing a growing crisis at our southern border, the Biden administration has now allowed journalists into a border facility holding migrants in Donna, Texas. Concerning images show crowded conditions in a facility with over 4,000 migrants, 3,400 of them unaccompanied children. I want to bring in now Congressman Vicente Gonzalez. His Texas district borders Mexico, close to that facility. Representative Gonzalez, thank you for being here. And what are you seeing? Is it a crisis to you? I know this has been kind of a politicized word, unfortunately, but how do you see it?
All right. Thank you for having me, TJ. Well, clearly the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas is the modern day Ellis Island, if you will. And we're a very generous and compassionate community who cares about all humanity that comes across our borders. But we can't help but notice the impact that our failed immigration policy in this country has had on our southern border. And we have ideas that I think the administration would benefit from in trying to address this.
You said you have ideas. Now, one of the issues now is that people have to make it here to seek asylum. So they're setting out on that journey, get here, seek asylum. Tell folks what your idea is that you hope the Biden administration will listen to.
Right. So what I've been advocating for is to have processing centers in southern Mexico, in Argentina, in Honduras, in El Salvador, where people can process their asylum claim either in their home country or their neighboring country, and that we create safe zones where we can guarantee their safety and security and dignity for them to apply for asylum in one of these centers without having to make this very, very dangerous 2,000-mile trek that, as you know, some of them never make it to our border alive. They're extorted along the way by cartels. Many family members that live in the United States are the ones wiring millions of dollars down to these cartels to get their loved one to our southern border. And I think an idea of having them processed further down would be greatly beneficial to folks who qualify. And also, we have to come to terms, and I always say this, it breaks my heart, that over 80% never qualify for asylum. And that's part of our broken immigration system, and that's why I advocate for a holistic approach. We need a system for asylum seekers to ask for asylum. We need a robust guest worker program, because the rest of these folks who don't qualify but get absorbed into our economy clearly signals that we have a labor shortage in this country. And these folks can fill this labor shortage. We just need to find an orderly process. I don't support just coming across the Rio Grande being processed and released. I don't think, especially in the middle of a pandemic, my community has been ravaged. We lost over 3,000 constituents to this pandemic, and I want to create a safe way of processing folks that come in for asylum or asking for immigration status of some sort without it impacting our local communities along the border. And that's the communication I've been having, not only to the administration, but to the American people in general, that I think that there's better ways that we can do this.
Well, Congressman, to that point, I guess two issues. One, it takes sometimes years to get an asylum application processed. So if someone did try that in a place where they're trying to escape, we can't necessarily leave them there for 2 years in the situation they're trying to escape. And the other issue, if you're setting it up in different countries, are you talking about the possibility of setting up something that looks like a refugee camp in other places for people to be safe until they come here?
Potentially in a first-class facility, kind of like the ones we have on our southern border around the state of Texas, where we're housing people now. But also, I'm talking about expediting these hearings. And a lot of times, the evidence you need and the witnesses you need to prove up your case are in your home country. So we need to find expedited ways to be able to process these claims and bring people in. Another thing, if we're just going to process and release them, why not just fly them in from their home country and save them this horrific 2,000-mile trek that women get raped, children are at risk, and as I said, family members in the U.S. are being extorted by cartels. So certainly, regardless of how we tweak this idea, there's a better way than what we're doing now. And certainly we're doing much better now than what happened during the Trump administration when he was ripping children from mothers' arms and dividing family and caging kids. You're never going to see something like that under a Biden administration, and I can't be more proud of that. So I think even though Biden administration is doing much better than what happened in 2019, we can do much more.
Last thing here, you did mention you lost 3,000 constituents to this pandemic, How do you think your state Texas is doing now, in large part, opened up, and how is what's happening with the pandemic and how what's happening at the border, I guess, making things even more difficult to some degree with the challenges we're facing in the pandemic?
That's right. So opening up, I believe that our governor opened up a little too early. I think we should have waited a month or two while we were inoculating the communities across the state. In terms of vaccines getting to the people, I think the federal government has done a great job getting max vaccinations to our communities. I have some rural counties that are 50 to 70% vaccinated in terms of adult populations. So we're doing better than we were, and better than many across the country, I have to admit. But we're not there yet. You know, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We've turned the corner, but we're not out of the woods. But I'm proud that we are moving in the right direction.
All right. Well, Congressman Gonzalez, it's an interesting idea, setting up asylum centers elsewhere. You have to let us know if you start to get some traction and a response from the White House on that in particular. But thank you so much for being here. Look forward to talking to you down the road.
Thank you. Look forward to it.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.